Hi, I'm Mary Wong. Welcome to Fertility Talks, and I am the founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic, author, best-selling author to Pathways to Pregnancy, and your fertility strategist. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the truth about IVF, and what that means is I'm going to give you my personal experience because people won't tell you because you think it, but you may not say it out loud of all the fears and all the worries that goes on, and the real scoop as to what happens and what to expect as well. And so I guess first off, if you don't know me and it's your first time viewing, I'm an acupuncturist, been practicing for 26 years, and I see women and couples for fertility challenges, and I've helped thousands of people. So by the time I myself had fertility challenges, it was like, seriously? Because who would think that when a person is actually specializing in this kind of field and being a naturalist, there's an assumption that, gosh, it would be easy. Well, unfortunately for me, or maybe fortunate, because I always say with challenges comes growth, and with growth, there's transformation. And so when that happened, I think I've become a better practitioner for it. So I myself had to go from trying to conceive to considering what else can I do, and was I willing to surrender to. And I'll tell you, when I first started out, there was no doubt in my mind that there would, number one, not be any trouble, and then second, that if I did have troubles, then I would only do natural. And when I actually was confronted by fertility challenges and finding out that the only possible way of my egg and my husband's sperm was to actually utilize IVF, because I had blocked fallopian tubes that were not just blocked, but fluid filled, which is called hydrosalpinx, that was irreversible, I really had to dig deep to see, could I actually surrender to IVF? And when I was confronted with that question, I actually had to step back and actually ask myself, why do I want to be a parent? And what was I really willing to do for that? And the surprise for myself was that I was willing to take on beyond trying to conceive naturally in the bedroom or the kitchen or on the stairs or in the living room. So I actually went to a fertility clinic and did IVF, and not just once, but multiple times. And I have to tell you guys, the truth about IVF is that, number one, it does suck. Even though I changed my mindset to surrender to it and say, gosh, this is a great opportunity, which it was and is for people out there that actually need it. Now, the other side of the coin is that some people, I think, jump into IVF prematurely out of fear and despair. And I don't necessarily believe that everybody that does IVF really need it. But simultaneously, certain cases, absolutely great. What an awesome technology that you can embrace as an opportunity. Now, having said that, it doesn't take away from the fact that it is freaking hard. Okay, so I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This is the truth. I'm a truth teller, and people come every single day, and I have to, when they say, oh yeah, IVF, we're going to do it one time and it's going to be done. And I have to be truthful, and I have to say, you know what? There is absolutely a possibility in it, and yet simultaneously, it may not happen first time around. And the IVF itself is not necessarily straightforward, because sometimes you may not respond to drugs as well as the doctor would like you to. And when that happens, boy, do we ever go into self-blame. It's like, am I a failure? Because of course the doctor will say, maybe you're a poor responder. So even though technically you're a poor responder to the drugs, but what you hear and what you take in is, I suck, I'm a poor responder. Like, I am the poor responder. So it's like you own it and you're like responsible for it. And I say, no, that's not the truth. You're not responsible for this. It's just that sometimes your body doesn't necessarily respond to the drugs that they would like you to. But don't own it like it's your fault, right? So that's what I mean by hard. And of course, the technical piece of actually doing injections will be difficult. Oh my gosh, you know what? Melanie's here. Hi, Melanie. I'm going to pull you in here because I love conversation. This is cool. Let's see if we can actually bring her on. Bring them on camera. Let's do this. No answer from your live video. Oh, okay, fine. Anyway, Melanie's here. Thank you for being here. And I know you would have lots to contribute, but with regards to the whole IVF conversation. And I want to tell everyone here watching this now, I did a live post with Melanie Mitchell, who is an RN, a registered nurse, who goes around and helps people needle. And it's so freaking awesome. She'll actually go to people's homes even, if necessary. And we did a post together, and I actually injected myself so that you can see what it's like to inject needles on yourself, and perhaps without pain. So pain-free. But if you're needle phobic and you're surrendered to IVF, it's like, wow, congratulations. I don't even know how you do that. It's pretty freaking phenomenal. But people do it because it's like, you really want a kid so bad that you will inject yourself, right? Anyway, I don't want to stray off here, but the point is IVF is freaking hard. And what can you do? Well, you can think about the possibility of a positive outcome and also look for other evidence and fact that it can work out versus, oh my gosh, it can happen to them, but not me. So the other thing I find that is hard about IVF to surrender to is the thought about, could it impact me negatively for my future health? And thankfully, so I did 8 attempted IVFs. So if you want to read more about that, definitely get my book, which is now not only in print copy, but also on Audible. And I narrate it, so go check that out. And it is encompassing with 14 other amazing stories. My story's in there. And the point is, having done 8 rounds of IVF attempted, there was a lot of drugs involved, but there was a lot of questioning, can this impact my health in the moment? Well, I will say that there are side effects that can go along with IVF, with the drugs, and certainly I experienced it, and not necessarily everybody experiences this. And so really, it's not until you do it that you'll see how it impacts you. So for some, it's like they get debilitating migraines. For me, I had like crazy memory lapses. Like not remembering was insane for me because I'm like, I'm so good with data and remembering things all the time that when I was confronted with, oh my gosh, I didn't remember where I parked my car in the parking lot. That's insane. Like, and even finding it in the end and not remembering how I got there. That's crazy. Anyway, that's just one thing. Or night sweats or like menopausal symptoms, all those kinds of crazy things. So those are hard, right? But the other fear that people don't necessarily speak to is the fear of having a healthy baby. And I had it. You probably are experiencing that right now. It's like, what is the future outcome of my child through IVF? And there's certainly some studies that show that, oh gosh, like there's a higher risk of X, Y, and Z, right? I just got an article that Dr. Magarelli, a reproductive endocrinologist, posted on the American Board of Oriental Reproductive Medicine. And it was saying that right now in 2020, the risks for cerebral palsy due to IVF is like way down, like down by 50%. I don't have the article in front of me, so I can't give you specific numbers. And the reason really is it's not necessarily the IVF itself. It's if you're actually risking yourself and having twins. So back in the day, and certain countries still do it, where they put in multiple embryos at a time for transfer. Well, obviously that means there's a higher risk of multiple pregnancies. So really the highest risk is actually carrying twins. And even though people think of, gosh, maybe carrying twins will be awesome because then I'll have 2 for 1, I pay one time and I have 2 kids out of it, then I'm like done, right? But unfortunately, the risk can be long-term. Like, short-term gain of getting pregnant and having a baby now, yes, I get it. But really, like, imagine what life would be like if you birthed a child with disability or cerebral palsy, and that could have been prevented if it was not preterm, right? So typically, twins or triplets will be born with less weight, right? And more preterm. The chances are greater. So does that mean you can't have a healthy baby? No, that doesn't mean that. That it means you can, but there's much less risk when it comes to having a singleton. So that's why now most places are transferring one embryo when they do an IVF cycle. I can't speak to IUI because typically, when you add drugs to do IUI, then there are multiple eggs that get developed and matured, so there is a higher risk there. But otherwise, when it comes to IVF, you're going to be having much more control. So point is, do you need to be afraid of having a baby that's got issues? Well, I actually have my baby here right now, so I want to present fact, right? And I want to show you evidence. And I asked my daughter, who is now 8 years old, to see if she would come on and say hello, and she actually has agreed to, and she's really scared to come. And I'll tell you, for years, when I was pregnant, when my baby was, a baby infant, I was almost scared to share to everyone about her because I didn't want the pain. I didn't want to stab you in the heart, right? Because of your struggles. Because I know for some women it's very difficult to look at pregnant women or infants or children, and I wanted to be sensitive to that issue. And yet simultaneously, like today, I am going to embrace that. I'm going to own it without apologies that I have a child, because guess what? I freaking struggled, and it took me almost 6 years to have this child. So I say, embrace who you see and just consider, even if you don't know them, if they're on the street, just consider that there's a possibility that they actually had difficulty conceiving, and let them be your source of hope. And think, gosh, you can make up a story, right, in your head. If you don't know them, they're strangers. Like, wow, they have 2 kids. Maybe they were conceived through IVF. Maybe she's had like 6 rounds of IVF, right? Like, that is a huge possibility, because we know, as a fact, 1 in 6 couples are having difficulty conceiving. And I would beg to say, maybe even higher, because people don't tell their stories. So, on that note, I just want you to be introduced to my little girl, Zoe. So come on here. So this is Zoe. Say hi.
Hi.
And as you can see, well, maybe you can't see, she's normal. Are you normal?
No.
No. Okay, fine. Well, I think she's normal, but maybe sometimes a little crazy, but in a good way. So people can think, gosh, like, maybe am I going to have like a baby that's unhealthy? Certainly not. This one runs around like crazy. What else? How can we prove that you're healthy? You don't get sick very much, do you? No. So
I've only gotten 2 fevers.
You've had 2 fevers. I think you've only vomited once in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you had a... No, you're pretty darn healthy. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I would say that like normal kids, kids that go to daycare at that time, in that time frame, that's when they get sick, and that's exactly what happened to her. So really, it's like the sicknesses that she did get was like any other kid. So there is no difference. She doesn't look any different. She, like, can you tell she's an IVF baby? Like, really, is this what IVF looks like? Right? normal. And, for those of you too who are like in a place of, should we not tell our kid that, you had difficulties and is IVF conceived? I never hid it from you. You knew right from the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you remember? What did I say?
That took you 6 years to have me.
Yeah.
And I had IVF.
And that I did IVF, yeah. And you met the doctor after. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you think it's pretty cool, right? That you were frozen. Oh, that's the other thing. So people will worry about, oh gosh, like, how is it to have a frozen baby? Well, one thing, I don't know if this is, clinical evidence, but Zoe likes the cold. She was a frozen baby. Well, you weren't a frozen baby. You were a frozen embryo, right?
Yeah. And I would like to bring up one thing. I overheard my mom talking about her book. And if you guys don't know how her book looks like, it looks like this.
Okay, I did not tell her to do that. That is hilarious. Wow, you're so funny. Thank you. Well, one day you can read about it when you're older, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, so, a lot of your friends even, I think some of them have had difficulties. Not them, but their parents. So it is so common now that I know that for a fact in her class, which is like 14, 15 people. How many kids in your class?
20.
20? Okay, so at least a third of them have had IVF troubles, which is so insane, right? Because it's actually pretty insane that, and we know because one of them for sure, I thought actually was the grandma. I'm not going to say names and don't say anything. But then
What?
It doesn't matter. And then and some of them fessed up that they had issues conceiving when they knew what I did for a living. So they said, oh, I had issues, right? So, and that's only some of the parents that I know. I don't know all the parents.
Is this hot?
So it is, no, it's not hot. But I do drink hot water, guys. She knows it. And so she drinks hot water too. Anyway, so if you conceive with love, with the ability to be as healthy as you can, preconception, during conception, postpartum, why can this child not be healthy and normal, right? Really. So there you have it. Proof is in the pudding right here. And she is 8 turning, and she's going to be taller than me in like a year, I think. But so point of all this is that you can have a healthy baby, and you can be fully honest, because in fact when I was speaking to a adoption counselor, because we were going that route before we went and tried another IVF, the adoption counselor said, you really want to be upfront with your child right from the get-go, because if you hide anything, one day it's going to bite you in the butt, because your kid is going to find out anyway. And when your kid finds out at an older age, what will happen? They're going to think that they can't trust you, because why are you withholding this information from them, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I went right from the get-go to say, hey, Zoe, we had troubles and we wanted you so badly that this is what we did, right? And I don't use it against her. So for those of you that are watching, like, don't use it against your future child, like, like, you should do this because I struggled. I don't do that, right? Do I? No.
No.
Okay, so anyway, you're getting heavy. Can you get off my lap? Oh, thank you. Okay, you want to say bye-bye?
Bye.
Okay.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Anjamili. Zoe is pretty funny, right? Like, I totally did not get her my book. I don't know why she got that, but anyhow, this is the book. So now I will. Now she's being loud out there. So this is in Audible copy. So check it out. And for those that are practitioners out there, oh my gosh, like, I've had people buy it and give it to their patients. So that's also an awesome thing to do. Anyway, if this is your first time, please, you can scroll down and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Meet Mary Wong. But if you scroll down, you can also watch some previous videos. Now, it's not all my videos are on there, just because I was using another Facebook page prior. So everything is on my YouTube channel. So subscribe, because most people have been watching it on Facebook. So it looks like there's nobody watching it on YouTube. So I want you to help me get it out into this world so that people can see all this amazing freaking content that we have to help others. Because, you know, this is our tribe and we got to help each other to have inspiration and hope and like really good ideas about what practical things we can do to help us get through this journey. And not just to get through it, but to also overcome it. So thanks, guys, for being here, and we shall talk to you again. Oh, and one last thing, so important. This is the last day of the 5-day fertility Kickstarter that we are selling it for $199 rather than $249. Starting tomorrow, $249 for the Fertility Kickstarter program, which is 5 days long, where we're going to provide you advice on, like, it will give you daily tips, which is going to be so awesome. So there's nutrition, there is like a meditative component, breathing component rather, and some self-massage and food guiding, right? And even with regards to mindset shifts. And the only program out there right now for fertility that's utilizing this technology called acupatching. And acupatching is light wave therapy in the form of a patch that you place on acupuncture points. So if you can't go to your fertility acupuncturist, if you, well, for whatever reason, right? If you're autoimmune, autoimmune deficiency, or if you're just scared to go out in general in public, or if you don't have great access because you live far away from an acupuncturist, or if your acupuncturist isn't even open, like, get your acupuncturist to use acupatching, because they can help you locate and put points on. So that's what we've done. When you buy it, we'll mail you out these acupatches, and we literally give you step by step in video, in like printout copies of exactly where to stick these points over the 5 days. And really, that's just a beginning to kickstart your fertility so that you can thrive and reset and rebalance and rejuvenate, to really optimize your chances of conceiving and just having that healthier, calmer mind. And you know, some benefits that people have said has literally calming, enhanced sleep, more energized, less irritable, like less moody, and just mitigating, if you're actually doing IVF, any kinds of side effects that you may have, or if you're just trying naturally. So it doesn't matter where you're in your journey and how you're doing it, it will be helpful. So go through the, if you go to AliveHolisticHealth.ca, AliveHolisticHealthClinic.ca. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Let me just check this out for you. Silly me. Because I don't want you to miss out on the sale, because it's going to be awesome. And oh gosh, I forgot to tell you, what is so important is that we are doing it as a community. So it's going to be from July 20th to the 25th. That's why there's like a time frame on it, and that's why the discount earlier, because the packages are going to run out. And so this program, let me tell you, calming. Yeah, so it's July 20th, $199 till $249, and the website is AliveHolisticHealth.ca. And you can find it through the services, you can find it through the fertility section, and it's called the 5-Day Fertility Kickstarter, so check it out. So excited. We're going to be doing it together. We are going to support you. There's going to be a Facebook page that is dedicated to it. It's a private page so that you can ask all your questions, and all the days. We're going to give you like daily videos of all the things that you need to do, but like really short because it's not to overwhelm you, right? So it's like 5 minutes so you can get on your day to kickstart your fertility. All right. So buy it before midnight. Get on it. And if you're on my Instagram, which is again just Meet Mary Wong, then there's a link in the bio that takes you straight to the page to buy the Fertility Kickstarter. All right? Have a great night. I'll see you guys real soon. And whatever you do, stay cool and awesome. Talk to you later. Bye.